Have you ever felt completely lost, like you've taken a wrong turn somewhere in life and can't find your way back? Imagine running away from your past, from a life of privilege that ended in a terrible mistake. You've traded a palace for a desert, a prince's robe for a shepherd's cloak. This is the life of Moses, a man hiding in the vast, silent wilderness of Midian. For 40 years, this has been his reality. He's a fugitive, a shepherd, a husband, and a father, living a quiet, unassuming life, far from the power and prestige of Egypt he once knew. His days are marked by the rising and setting of the sun, the bleating of sheep, and the endless expanse of sand and rock. The dreams of his youth, the whispers of a destiny to deliver his people, have long since faded, buried under the weight of time and regret. He's just a man, trying to forget who he once was. One day, like any other, Moses leads his flock to the far side of the desert, coming to Horeb, the mountain of God. The air is still, the landscape unchanging. But then, something catches his eye. A flicker of light, a dance of flame in the distance. This isn't unusual in the desert. Dry bushes can ignite under the scorching sun. But this fire, it's different. He squints, shielding his eyes. A bush is engulfed in flames, yet it isn't burning up. The leaves aren't turning to ash, the branches aren't charring and falling away. It's a paradox, a spectacle of nature suspended in defiance of its own laws. Curiosity, a feeling long dormant in Moses, begins to stir. He thinks to himself, I must go over and see this strange sight, why the bush does not burn up. He leaves his flock, his steps tentative at first, then more determined as he approaches this divine anomaly. This isn't just a fire, it's an invitation. Decades of anonymity are shattered in an instant. He is seen. He is known. Trembling, a mix of fear and awe gripping him, he manages to reply, Here I am. The voice continues, its power both terrifying and holy. Do not come any closer. Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground. Moses obeys without hesitation, the rough, warm earth a stark contrast to the divine fire before him. The voice then identifies itself, connecting the present moment to a history Moses knows deep in his bones. I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. At this, a profound fear washes over Moses. This is not just a strange phenomenon, this is an encounter with the Almighty, the God of his ancestors. He hides his face, terrified to look upon God. The God he'd heard about in stories as a child in the Hebrew slave quarters, the God whose promises seemed so distant, is here. In a burning bush. In the middle of nowhere. And he knows Moses by name. God then reveals the purpose of this incredible meeting. I have indeed seen the misery of my people in Egypt. I have heard them crying out because of their slave drivers, and I am concerned about their suffering. So I have come down to rescue them from the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of that land into a good and spacious land, a land flowing with milk and honey. The words are a balm to a wound Moses didn't even realize was still open. The suffering of his people, the injustice he once tried to fight on his own terms, has been seen and heard by God himself. A wave of relief, of hope, might have washed over him. But then comes the part that changes everything. God says, So now go. I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt. The man who has spent 40 years trying to be invisible. The idea is preposterous, impossible. All the insecurities, all the failures, all the reasons he ran away in the first place come flooding back. The man who once acted impulsively, killing an Egyptian and burying him in the sand, is now paralyzed by doubt. Who am I, Moses stammers, that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt? It's a genuine question, born not of defiance, but of utter inadequacy. Who am I? I'm a nobody. I have a speech impediment. I'm a wanted man. I'm not a leader. I am a shepherd who has spent more time with sheep than with people for the last 4 decades. He looks at his calloused hands, at his simple staff, and then at the divine, unquenchable fire. The contrast is overwhelming. He is small, weak, and forgotten. The mission is immense, dangerous, and world-changing. How could God possibly choose him? He is the least likely candidate, the most broken vessel. This is the heart of Moses' fear. It's not just the fear of Pharaoh's power or the danger of returning to Egypt. It's the deep, gut-wrenching fear of his own insufficiency. But God's response isn't a list of Moses' qualifications. He doesn't remind Moses of his royal upbringing or his education. Instead, God gives a simple, powerful promise: I will be with you. It's a promise that shifts the focus entirely. The mission is not about who Moses is, it's about who is with him. It's not about Moses' strength, but God's presence. The success of this impossible task doesn't rest on the shoulders of a flawed shepherd, but in the hands of the Creator of the universe. I will be with you. These 4 words are meant to be the antidote to all of Moses' fears and doubts. God's presence is the qualification. His companionship is the strategy. His power is the weapon. The burning bush was just the beginning, a sign that God can inhabit the ordinary and make it holy, that he can set something ablaze without consuming it. And now, he intends to do the same with Moses. This moment at the burning bush is a turning point, not just for Moses, but for all of history. It's where a man full of fear and doubt is called to a divine mission. It's a story that reminds us that God doesn't call the equipped, he equips the called. He doesn't look for perfect people, but for willing hearts. Moses' journey from who am I to becoming the great deliverer of Israel is a long and challenging one, filled with more questions and more moments of doubt. But it all started here, on holy ground, with a fire that wouldn't go out and a voice that knew his name. It teaches us that sometimes, our greatest weaknesses and deepest insecurities are the very things God uses to display his strength. When we feel most lost, most unqualified, that might be the exact moment we are standing on holy ground, about to receive a call that will change everything. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into one of the most powerful stories ever told. If this story of facing fear and finding purpose resonates with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that dives deep into these timeless narratives. Let me know in the comments what you think about Moses' reaction. What would you have done? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.